Oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Why am I doing this myself? Um, I found that I got Grand Prix Legends to work, and I found all my old replays from my league racing way back, and I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to have a look at some of them. Um, so yeah, um, but I've got my Dr Pepper. Dr Pepper, my Iron Brew. Um, so that should help. Um, so the races that I'm going to be looking at are from 24 years ago. Now, back then, 24 years ago, I was at college. I didn't know what sim racing was. Sim racing was hardly a thought in a lot of people's minds. But I'd played racing games. So I played at that point. I think it was. I played most of the Grand Prix games, like the Jeff Crammon Grand Prix games. So that was spanning from 1993, I think. And most of those are played on keyboard. So I played Grand Prix, what was Formula One Grand Prix, or World Circuit, I think, as it was named in the US. And then we had Grand Prix 2. And obviously Grand Prix 3. And I think after Grand Prix 3, GP Legends came out. I think someone at college had got like a cover disc, and they slap the disc in and say, "Oh, what's this? 60s racing? This is a bit strange. No one's ever done this before." And I think the demo was a Ferrari around Monza, I think. And I don't think I knew anything about the older racing at that point. And obviously, being used to the Formula One type games, you're used to, downforce cars and stuff. And as soon as I saw it, it was just like, what's all this suspension movement? You don't have this in any of the Grand Prix games. So it was a bit of a revelation, really. And at that point, I think, I was living away from home. And at that point, obviously, we were on 56k modems. And we could still race, but as you'll see from the replays, it wasn't the most reliable affair. So you'll see what I mean. Nowadays when people complain about lag, it's nothing like what we dealt with back then. And I think at that point, I bought the game because it was just like, oh, this is a bit of fun, We had a bit of fun with on a local area network with a friend of that I went to college with, and we basically just used it as like a, can we do the best crashes kind of thing, because you could do awesome crashes, flip the cars and flip them over the fence and get them to roll a million times. So I probably got like loads of replays on discs and things of just the weird and wacky replays, because the replay system was really, really good. But yeah, now the only problem with the game is obviously that it runs exclusively full screen. I can't alt tab out of it, so if there's a problem with it, I can't alt tab. I have researched some, a couple of ways of trying to force it into a windowed mode, and I did see a GP Labs video saying that he used something called DG Voodoo. Now I've tried using DG Voodoo. Now although that makes the DirectX work, and I've got it to actually open on my other monitor, which is how I get it captured, it's still exclusively full screen, unfortunately. So, but I found a DirectX DLL, and I've been able to get a 1920 by 1080 resolution out of the game, so that's good. So obviously after playing the game for a little bit, I think Google wasn't a thing back then, and it was some kind of search engine. So I looked up on Yahoo or Excite or wherever it was back then, and I think I just typed in UKGPL league or something like that, and a league called UKGPL came up. So I joined in season 3 back in the 2000s, and I went all the way into season 12. They are still running, I believe, and I think if I can find it, I may still have the link to some of the results. Where are we? Schedule and results. Let's see if that still works. It does. So I don't think I'm going to show you the results, because it will give away what I'm going to show you in the replays. But let's put it this way. I started in season 3 back in, I think it's probably got the actual date on this, season 3. So from 2000 to 2001. Let's have a look. There we go. And I started in Division 5, which I think it was the lowest one, because I was completely starting from scratch. Just trying to look for the date. November the 22nd, to year 2000. So it was basically near enough just before the Christmas holidays. And you only had a maximum, I think, about 20 cars you could race with. Was that 16? I can't remember. That was as many people. Well, it says 16 here. I imagine it might be a maximum of 20 cars. But it was 16 for our first race. So it's following the 1967 calendar. So it will be so Kyalami, Monaco, Zandvoort, Spa, Rouen, Silverstone, Nürburgring, Mosport, Monza, Watkins Glen, Mexico, and we had a final round at somewhere called Solitude. So that was kind of cool. and I picked the Ferrari. Now, another fun fact is this is how actually I met a friend of mine, fellow streamer, Ben Summers, because Ben Summers was my moderator for my first season. I don't think he was my moderator beyond that. He may have been. I never actually raced with him. He was always in either a different division or he was retiring at that point. I can't remember. But yeah. So I know I'm delaying things, aren't I? I'm just delaying it and delaying it because it's embarrassing. So I've hopefully turned the sound down a bit. And if the sound is too much, I'm gonna have to come out of the game and go back in, I think. What I could do, I did actually delete I deleted the laps. Oh no. Let's take that one. Because there is a master control for the sound, so maybe I can tweak that whilst I'm still in the game. Right. Let's try this. Ha 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 ha! Right, so at the moment, I've got it set quite low. So if I have a look at this one. How's the sound level? I think it should be okay. It's coming out. It's coming over okay on the meters. Right. So here was me. You're not going to be able to see the top and the bottom, unfortunately. So, I mean, it's too small to see anyway. I'll have to remember my keys. So view is that. C is camera. So I'm using like the updated version. So I did actually fancy just viewing these as like as they originally were. But this is like the 2020 edition, I think. So we've got quite a few. So I'm starting. So you see people are disappearing already because of disconnections and what have you. It doesn't say where I am on the grid. I'm thinking I'm about 15th or so. So I'm full throttle at the moment. You see the Lotus ahead. So the Lotus ahead, I didn't actually notice this at the time. The Lotus ahead was actually in reverse gear at the start. And they went backwards. I didn't notice that. So it was a bit of lag from that Lotus at the back as well. So where he came from, I do not know. And to avoid some carnage at the start there. So I eventually left the grid in 15th, so last. So I think at this point I was using like a Microsoft Fast Force Feedback wheel. So there's one already off. So I think I was very tentative. I can't remember whether I used force feedback at all. Chasing a Lotus and a Ferrari ahead. I see this. There's a sign in the middle of the nowhere there. That's a bit. That obviously wasn't there when we were racing. This was my first ever sim race online. I think I've done a little bit of practice. We've got a Brabham that's going to make a... He decided against coming on the track. There's 24 laps. Past, I think that's an Eagle on the left. Oh! Oh! What happened there? We got a bit out of shape and someone didn't realise. Now what you notice is there's a car there. And I passed that car. But what I think the person behind got caught out with me. And I went for a ride. Whoa. So is there another view you can see? Here we go. Here we go. So we were on basically on opposite lot coming through here. And I mean, he wouldn't have been expecting me to come across his nose there because I was already out of control, hitting the dirt. I was up to 12th. And then all the way back down again. I mean, a lot of these people were in the same boat, really. Probably their first ever online race. And I can't believe now, like nowadays, I can't believe that I would have ran with no force feedback. And if you've ever seen a Microsoft force feedback wheel, it's tiny in comparison to what we see today. I can't remember how many inches the wheel is, but there's the yellow flag there. Let's see who went off. I mean, I probably would have done a little bit of practice before this race. Oh, that's two cars off. So there's a few people making a few mistakes there. It's a Ferrari. And I think that's a Cooper ahead. He's made a bit of a mistake. So you can see that obviously my car looks like it's very stable, but all the other cars are a little laggy. I don't know how we went racing back then, to be honest. We nearly rear-ended him. And he's off. We pushed him into a mistake. Fourth lap. And we're up to, I think, probably 11th at this point. So I was really feeling good about myself. I've been hunted down by a Cooper behind me, or a Coventry, maybe. That was a nasty gear change. Ferrari has the legs. I can kind of tell that I've not changed my technique with my gear changing for quite a number of years. Considering this is November 2020. What am I talking about? No, November the 22nd in the year 2000. So it's actually not 24 years yet, is it? It'll be 24 years coming up. So I'm being stalked by a car behind me. Looks a little erratic. So I'm up to 11th now. He's definitely faster, but he's a bit erratic. So I went centre of the track. I can hear him in my left ear. There he is. It's pretty risky going around the outside. Leaving each other a lot of space. So down to 12th. Oh, he lost it on exit. That's a recovering Eagle. Bungs it in the barrier. So I'm probably back up to 11th now. Up and down like a yo-yo. So sixth lap. But you see what you have to deal with it, like you know, car movement like this in this day and age. Oh, 2 Ferraris off. Thank you very much. 2 freebies. Car movement like that in this day and age would just not be acceptable. And I probably would have been running this very bare bones as it was I just started, so the cars look nothing like this. They probably sounded a lot different. Although it does sound familiar to what I'm used to hearing from the Ferrari, but so we're 10th. So covering the Ferrari there. And I've got an Eagle stalking me in my mirror. I think that's either someone coming to lap me or that is that Eagle that went off earlier. I mean, nowadays, when you see a car flicking about like that in your mirror, you'd be like, oh, I want to let them pass because they're going to kill me. But back then, it's just how it was done. Look at the speed of the Eagle. Just probably braked where I could there. I mean, seeing as though at this point I would have only raced the computer. This is my first ever time racing against humans in a proper league setting. Whoa, whoa, steady. Whoa. What did we do there? Did we miss a gear or something? It sounded like we missed a gear. But we were getting it all out of shape. Let's look at the... I think I must have snatched an inside wheel and then just... Yeah, that's very strange. I must have downshifted too soon or something. Very odd. So I thought I held on to it, and I'm off the curb. Sounded like I just spun up. I don't know whether I changed down instead of up there. That was very odd. Oh, here comes the Ferrari again. Up and down like a yo-yo. I think this is probably actually it might be a bit I remember that I wanted to put in a highlight video, but I never did. I don't know if it is. I know there's a specific crash that's coming up. No. But the slipstream is quite strong. Go to the centre of the track and brake. And then screw it up completely. Dow! Naughty, naughty, you should have turned the other way. I knew there was nothing coming, but you can never really tell. I'm flustered now. Because I basically did a spin turn on the racing line. Big no-no. I'm all flustered now. All flustered. This is the 9th lap of 24. It feels like some of my most recent online races where I'm just on my own. No one around me. I'm apparently in an online race, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Luckily there's no flat spotting in this game. Otherwise my tyres would be wrecked. My best lap time is a 1:25.24. The fastest lap of the race is a 1:21.35. So I'm a few seconds off the pace. Oh, waved yellow. There must be something around here. Is it going to be another Ferrari? It is another Ferrari. Is this when the accident is going to happen? Just wandering all over the track. I was a bit wary, I think. He seemed like he's either got damage. I don't know how much damage there were in these league races. But I feel like a lot of the drivers were completely new to this. So they were giving each other a lot of space. I think there was a couple of guys that started off in this particular series and did a couple of races and gave up. It just wasn't for them. But I persevered. Oh, another yellow flag. Who's that recovering? Is that an eagle ahead? We've got company. So it's like a comedy of errors, really. Oh, there goes another Ferrari. Ah! Yikes. That's the word. So basically going up and down from like up to 10th down to whatever. I'm now 12th. I was up to 11th at one point. But I just keep... You know, if I was capitalising on these errors, I would be up in the top 10 at the moment. But I must have spun up the rear tyres. That Ferrari behind me had second thoughts about passing into that fast right-hander. I mean, I think the replay analyzer probably still works for this game. I use that a lot, where you can see the lines, and the gear shifts, and you know, you could really analyse your performance of what your lap's like compared to others. Oh, we're catching up on someone else that's had an off as well. So it just seems to be like I go off, let a few people by, they go off, let me by. There's someone in my slipstream there. Where did that eagle come from? Where did he come from? Where did he come from? Is he in my... He's not there at all. Suddenly eagle. I mean, if I was racing this, I would have seen that. I would have seen him just appear. Although he's just on the periphery and he appears. But that, I think I was scared off the road there, pretty much. I was like, where did he come from? He was coming from so far back. Dive bombing 2 cars into turn 1. Ambitious. I think I erred on the side of caution there. We've got a roll bar cam. There we go. But you can't see what's happening in my mirrors. Best lap up to a 1:24. Still chasing this car that keeps going off. What is this car, this one? I think this one's an eagle as well. So I've got no match for that car on the straight. The eagle is so quick down the straight, because that would never be a Cooper. It might even be a Lotus actually. The Lotus was really OP. I can't remember what rules we had for this. Oh, round he goes. That's an eagle. Can't remember what rules we had for this series, whether you had to stick with the same car or whether you varied or not. There was like rules to do with how many of a certain car you used in the season, just to equalise the field. Like BOP, I suppose. So are we back up to 10th now? I can't believe I did this on a single screen as well. I would love to see if someone got GPL to work in VR. I mean, it wouldn't be what, you know, it's cracked up to be. You would notice everything was flat, you know. when it's on a single screen, you definitely see things a little differently. So we're back up to 11th. Back up to 11th again. I think we just seem to be passing the same cars over and over and over again. I can see that eagle still stalking me in the background there. But I mean, at this point, if I was running like vanilla Grand Prix Legends, the track would be very bare bones, very bland. The car would be very, very bland. I don't think that eagle would sound like that either. I'm just going to get blasted past here. It's lap 16 out of 24. Oh, I'm actually putting in a little defence here. And then I screwed it up again. Can you believe it? It was the same thing that I did before. I think I didn't account for the being shallow, and I locked up. Completely missed my braking point. I'm going to be very lucky. No, I'm not. Aha! How about that? That's the leader. I've been lapped. I was up to 10th. Was. Oh, steady. I mean, this game had got, like, well, it still has a cult following, I suppose you'd call it. It's only alive now because of the modding community. Because it was a commercial flop. But people saw the potential of it and then just went, this is great, you know. It's nothing we've seen it before in racing games. So it's unique. So are we still 10th or 11th now? It only updates as you cross the line. Oh, we're still 10th. We're in the top 10. Hooray! And I'm alone on the track again. And I remember that the pit board, it obviously would tell you like things that had happened a lap ago. It would be a little bit delayed, I think. So you really had to pay attention to flag signals and stuff like that. There was no UI to tell you your relative. So at this point, I don't know who I'm racing. I don't know who's ahead, who's behind. The pit board would obviously flash up and tell me what position I'm in, but that would probably be delayed. So it was quite a lonely way of sim racing, you know, really back to basics. It was before the time where you'd have, like, I think you wouldn't even know what your best lap time was or anything like that. That came a lot later. Actually thinking about it, this might not actually be the race that I'm thinking that I have. Again, I'm being stopped by a Ferrari that's coming in hot. Oh, I'm being lapped. Yep, I'm being lapped. This Ferrari is not for position. can't remember what the blue flag rules were for back then. So I don't know if I'm committing a bit of a boo-boo. I think I'm I'm either heading to the inside to let them through, or I'm thinking this is for position, and I'm unintentionally blocking them because that guy behind is not for position. Ooh, what happened here? Someone had an accident. Someone had a bit of an accident. I think someone collided with the pit wall. So, it's third position that's trying to lap me. Second position. That was one of the leaders. That was one of the lead. That was third. That was second position. That had an accident. I think. I mean, this guy's probably getting really annoyed with me because he's like, "Come on, just let me through." And another thing in this game, obviously, you could raise your fist. You probably wouldn't be able to see it from behind, but he's been stuck behind me for about 2 or 3 laps now, and I'm going to the inside of each corner. I don't know whether I'm thinking that he's just going to go around the outside of me because I'm heading to the inside of each curve. Look, and I don't know whether I don't think I'm blocking. I'm either just doing a very, very bad job of letting them by, or I'm thinking this person is for position. It is second position. We're lap 20 of 24. There I go. I'm heading to the. I think he must be like very tentative in overtaking someone. I just can't believe I've been holding this guy up for so long. It's embarrassing. Probably here's me thinking, oh, I'm having a great old battle. But it's the second place man. What does that blue thing mean? I have no idea. We'll look at the race report when we're finished with this race. So I'm probably going to have 3 laps to go because I've already been lapped. So we're coming up against... That's obviously going to be for position up there. That's 9th place. Yep, this is the accident. I don't know what this guy was thinking he was doing. Now, when I was into doing highlight videos and stuff, because back then there was no OBS, there was no shadow play, nothing like that to actually capture video from particularly games like this that were running on a 3DFX card, which don't exist now, of course. You really had to find I think the utility back then was, because this ran at 36 frames a second, you literally had to capture video that wasn't in real time. So it would capture 36 frames. It would capture 36 frames, and then once you press stop, it would put them together. So bad. So this is what I remember. This is the accident that I remember. So what he was doing, I have no idea. But he was wandering around on the racing line now. And I don't know if it will tell me. So that's actually 15th place. So I thought I was going to get through there, but in the end, not so much. And I think I ended up on my head. So back then, you obviously had to... I think the rules were that you could shift R. And when you shift R, you would reset the car, which would mean that it would put you on your full fuel load. And I don't know why they did this. They made it so that once you shift R and you went on a full fuel load, you then had to pit as a penalty, when in fact you'd already kind of penalised yourself. So I'm not sure why that was like that. It was maybe to prevent if perhaps you'd had an accident and you'd ripped your wheels off, then you did a shift R to reset your car. Then you would, have to pit. But I don't think it was like contextual to say that. I think there was such a thing as no fault shift Rs. So you would pretty much just say, well, this wasn't my fault. This accident wasn't my fault. And this definitely wasn't my fault. So watch. So that's a flat out turn. I had no way of avoiding that. I couldn't go any tighter. And I'm guessing that that's because I'm on my head. So normally that would be like game over. There I am. So shift R. So that was 10th place. I had 10th place. Very, very annoying. So flustered again, off at turn 1. And that's not the guy that caused it. That's for position. So up and down, up and down, up and down. So there's probably 2 laps to go, I think. So my car's probably feeling very, very heavy and very, very annoying. Because it's back to the state it was at the start of the race. Oh, there's a Cooper behind me that just had an accident. I think that was probably not for position there. So lap 22, so this must be the last lap, because I've been lapped at least once. I'm 2 seconds, 3 seconds slower than the leader. Back down to 11th. So there goes my top 10. A race that had so much potential. Right there. Actually faster than that. That guy there is probably the guy that I was fighting with early on in the race, because the only thing you could change about your car was the helmet colour, and a lot of people stuck with whoa. A lot of people stuck with the same helmet colour, so you could kind of understand who was who. I started off with yellow, I think. And then I think I switched to British Racing green. So it mustn't be over then. It says 23 of 24, so maybe I unlapped myself. I don't think I'm going to catch this guy. And I don't know if am I being stalked by someone for position, or... Yeah, this guy here is for position. On the last lap, he's a Cooper. Or Coventry. I don't think he's going to get by. So I'm doing 126s now on a full fuel load. Their last lap was a 124. I'm probably going to beat him down the straight. Ferrari power! There we go! That's my first online race. I bet it was relief. Absolute relief. I don't know whether it actually records you raising your arm up. I think it does. Yeah, it does. You saw the Coventry just put his arm up there, and I'm putting my arm up. It does record that in the replay. There you go. Look, you can see. So that was. It's a feature that I don't think any other sim. Obviously, because you can't communicate in the race, and obviously, back then, you know, you wouldn't have lights, you wouldn't have anything else, so it was kind of an inspired decision to put like a raise your hand, you know? And I think it also had that thing where if you raised your hand, you can't actually change gear. Which was a nice touch, which you wouldn't be able to once you raised your right hand. You can't change your gear. Makes sense. I just thought it was a nice touch, isn't it? Nice touch. So doing a full cool down lap, holding up my hand. I think I was just glad to finish. Revving the engine. I don't know whether crashing after the finish line was frowned upon or not. But there you go. That must have been me chopping the replay, because you could actually, the replay system was really, really cool. You could actually, or could you? Or am I thinking of something else? I know you could extract replays and things like that, because look, I've got my best lap there, 1:24.12, that you could extract from the thing. So that was my first ever online race, which is cool. First ever online race. So I'm going to need to come out of the game, because we're going to go back to... I'll show you the actual... I want that one. There we go. Right, so... Right, so this is public information, so I'm not doxing anyone. This is publicly available on the internet, so bear that in mind. So this is the results sheet we got, and also bear in mind the moderator for this series was Ben Summers, a friend and teammate, who, I mean, I obviously lost touch with them after college and after I'd finished all the online racing and stuff. And I think there was a certain point on Twitch. I think I maybe just put in his name, because I was obviously maybe a bit nostalgic with looking at results for this and going through Grand Prix Legend stuff, and I go, oh, I wonder what Ben Summers is doing. And of course he's not changed his user profile picture in quite some time. So I was like, I know who that is. So where are you? So this is me down here. So I started in I actually went forwards. I started 12th, ended up 11th. But the route to 11th was all over the place. So the person that disconnected down here was the one that actually was wandering around on the racing line in the last turn. Whether or not he just disconnected after we'd had a collision. But so he was officially 14th, but 8 laps down. So I'm guessing that this eagle down here in 15th was probably one of those ones which was causing me a lot of grief, because there was only 2 eagles in that race, and one of them finished in 5th. But looking at this, I only did 23 laps, so I was a lap down. So the moderators said the moderators didn't do anything about that incident at all, which is strange. Whether or not the moderators only took up things which are reported, so I probably wouldn't have done anything about it. So Ben misses his braking point and nudges the back of Derek Jones. Derek is forced to shift R. Derek actually won the race. Ben doesn't wait for Derek or let him back past. So there was gentleman rules in this series. Trying not to give away what happened next. Although it doesn't matter what happened next, because I didn't do that race. So just after Mick gets lapped by the leader, Michael Bell, Mick misses his braking point and hits Michael from behind, sending Michael off the track. Rear-ending Michael, 10 championship points. You get docked championship points. That sucks. So a few familiar faces there. See, a lot of people were in the Lotuses. I'm only one of 6 Ferraris. And I think in Season 3, at least in Division 5, we didn't have rules about what car you could take, I don't think. As you went up the divisions, you probably then had. So the next race, I didn't actually take part in. So the next race is December the 6th in the year 2000. It's Monaco. So I'm wondering where I was at that point. So in the year 2000, I would have still been at college. And just trying to think where I would have been living. So this is my second year of college, I think. Year 2000. Because I can't remember online racing in my first halls of residence. Yeah, so this is my second year. So this is actually coming up to. I've only got from December until July, my last year of college. So December 6th, I would have still been at college, but I don't know why I didn't take part in Monaco. I'm not entirely sure. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? Kind of cool, and I'm glad that that all of the results and stuff have been archived for future prosperity, I suppose. What I'm looking for. Right. Get that deleted. I was hoping that Ben would be around actually to also watch some of these because they would probably ring a bell for him. So looking at the championship results, which I'm not going to give you because that would give stuff away. It did show people used like a mixture of cars. So yeah. Right. Let's go back into the game. Okay, so view replay. So the next round was round 3 of season 3, and it was Zandvoort. So this one actually had practice involved too. So let's go to the. Right. Here I am. Here I am. Look where I am. I'm second on the grid. So the last race I did was November the 22nd. This one would have been sometime in December. And all I remember from this was I did so much practice. So much practice. Because I think in that first race, I was like, I'm all over the place. I really need to, do something about this. So we did a lot of random online practice sessions and stuff just to kind of, I don't know, get some semblance of consistency. And I just seemed to flow with this circuit. Zandvoort just seemed to be, I don't know, maybe it was the bank turns. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why this circuit seemed to gel with me, but hey ho. So this was December sometime in the year 2000. So here we go. So I've got a what key am I doing? That key. So I've got Derek Jones ahead of me in the Coventry. So here we go. People disappearing from the mirrors already, which is not a good sign. Wait for the flag man. Wait for the flag man. Look at that start. He leads down to turn 1. That was a stonking start. Probably one of the best starts I've ever done. My reaction time was spot on. Now I'm using a white helmet this time. Randomly. I can't remember when I suddenly switched to green. So let's go to... No, this camera would be better. So you see... Oh, you can't see the flag man. That's a shame. Just had such a better reaction than the guy behind. Or guy in front, rather. Now braked him into turn 1. And off we go. Leading my first ever online race. This is unheard of. Look at the carnage just going on behind. Look at the carnage. Being stalked by Derek. Now obviously I have the advantage with a bit more horsepower than that Cooper. I seem to be a little bit faster through these first 2 turns. So I'm pulling out a little bit of a gap. Now in the older version of Zandvoort it would have been very orange looking because of the sand dunes, but in graphical updates they put the grass on it. I don't know what it would have been back then, to be honest, whether it would have been grassy or sandy, because you're very much next to the beach. But I bet this must have been nerve-wracking being my first ever laps led. Oh, under pressure. Being stalked by a Cooper. Oh, a bit too much curve there, Derek. I'm already on the defence. Already on the defence. But I think the horsepower is showing through the sweepers, the faster sweepers. And the Coventry will catch up in the slower corners, but I just seem to have a rhythm here. Getting used to like hanging the back out because I wasn't used to, you know, I was used to a car just turning because I was used to Grand Prix cars, like modern Grand Prix cars, and having to actually balance a power slide was like, this is weird. But he's not. I'm not pulling away by any means, at all. I can't remember if I intentionally went defensive there. I'm not following the racing line that they've suggested on the graphics there. But I'm definitely under pressure. But I'm doing the good old trick of being slow out of the corners. Derek is all over the back of me, but it just doesn't have the horsepower. Just doesn't have the horsepower. I mean, I don't know what this looks like from inside. I mean, it still looks close from inside the cockpit, isn't it? Stay away from that sand. I pulled a little gap on Derek. Must have made a mistake at that last. So he's not going to get a slipstream down the straight. So I'm doing a 128.7. So 128.7. I'm not the fastest car on the track. I think one of the other cars in the top just did a very high 127. So there's someone going a second faster than me, but maybe they were the people that got caught up in that turn 1 melee that we saw. And I'm looking at the lap times at the top of the screen. You can't see these because it's covered by the banner, but the text is so damn tiny that you probably wouldn't be able to see it anyway. Why that was a UI decision, I'm not too sure. But they decided to make the text really small. Although saying back then, you know, a good resolution would have been 124 by 768, you know? So, you know, maybe the text would have been a bit bigger back then. I mean, I've got the legs on him. I've got the legs on Derek coming onto the main straight, so I'm safe in that respect. But he does catch me through the twisties a little. So, now put in the fastest lap of the race. 127.4, so I'm the fastest car on the circuit at the moment. Lap 5 of 27. So I'm getting into a little bit of a rhythm. Again, I can't remember whether you could see lap time or not. I think lap time was maybe 1 lap delayed. I can't remember whether you saw it on your pit board or not. What's happened to Derek? What's happened to Derek? Did Derek just disconnect or something? Because he was there. I think he might have just disconnected. Oh no! He spun! And then disconnected. It's either that or he I don't know. It will show on the results anyway whether he disconnected or not. But I'm now being followed by a BRM called Joe Murphy. see. So he's not far behind. So his best lap time was a 1:27.9. I'm doing 1:27.4. So on to lap 6. So I'm all alone now. But you can hear the BRM in the background. I don't know if I can see him in my mirrors. Not really. Because I've obviously... I can only just see him. He's like a couple of pixels at the... Yeah, you could only just see him in my mirror. I mean, once you got a flow for this circuit, you just turn it into the corner and let the back hang out a little bit and counter steer a little bit and then throw it into the next one and do the same. Such a good circuit. And I mean, in terms of accuracy as well, they did a pretty good job, probably with the very, very limited 3D tools they had back then, to make a pretty accurate circuit. And I mean, they didn't tend to change the track geometry with all the updates. They just normally added like trackside objects and new textures and stuff. So I'm just trying to see if I can still can't see a bit. I can see a BRM just there. I don't think I would have been looking in my mirrors because he's so far behind. But again, the pit board would only tell you, maybe with a lap delay, of how far behind someone is. And it was a nice touch that you got like a delayed pit board. This is only my second sim race as well. So leading the race was probably like, how am I doing this? Just got to survive for 20 laps. And I mean, it was always a little bit scary throwing it into these turns. And if you hit just a little bit of sand or a bit of grass, you were off into the sand dunes and over the hills. So that was always the worry. So, oh, he's very close now. So he's now put in a 1:27.2, whereas I'm in the very low 28s. So he's catching. There he is. Whoa, steady now. Steady. So this is what he can see, although it's obviously a lot better quality. So he's not far behind. He's got a carrot to chase. And I wonder, here's the thing, whether... Whoa, he was nearly on the grass there. I wonder whether because the gear stick on the Ferrari is on the right hand side and the arm that you put up is your right hand. And as I say, you needed to put your arm down to change gear. Now on that BRM, I don't know whether they put in this detail. You would probably still put up your right hand. I wonder if you could still change gear. Because obviously you would take your hand off the wheel. He's there now. You can see him. He's getting closer. He's still 127. I'm in the high 27s. He's in the low 27s. And we are coming up against some lapped cars, I think. So I did see some lapped cars. But I mean, looking in my mirror, he doesn't look very close because I can only just see him coming into view just as the geometry disappears, which is quite far away. So I'm probably like, just keep it together. There's the lap cars. And there's a gaggle of them as well. New pair of underwear, please. I mean, thinking back to what we know now about sim racing, what's the first rule? What's the first rule? Hold the brake. I mean, in the scheme of things, what you're trying to do with these cars is, if you have a spin, the first thing you want to do is try and right yourself. Oh, that's the wrong key. So at this point, I must have been thinking, "Oh shit!" So they've come from the top of the circuit. So they've spun. And at this point, going backwards. So what they're trying to do, obviously, is turn right. Turn left, so that their car will spin back round. Because if they pull the brake, then they'll stop, and they won't be able to turn around. So I think that's what they were trying to do. Either that, or they're just kind of shocked and fumbling. So they're doing a naughty, and so it's hard to tell as well whether they were actually trying to accelerate away as well, which was another naughty. Let's see what they saw. So if we look at right, so who are this? Is Jacob Schmidt, I suppose. So they just got their braking all wrong. Yeah, so they basically turn their wheel, hoping to get themselves turned around, but in effect they just went straight back onto the racing line and into oncoming traffic. Big no. I wonder if the moderator's going to have something to say about that. But that's a big no. A big no. I wonder if they had an effect on the other car. It lagged away because of the distance from the leader. Damn it. I don't know whether they took avoiding action or not. I suppose we'll see from the lap times. Because I think I was hoping that they would maybe brake and stay on the outside, and then I would have been able to take the racing line. But just at the last minute, I'm thankfully made the decision to go for the gap on the outside. I put my fist up. Was that a thank you? Or a get out the bloody way? So that was... Who was that? That was Duncan Hogbin in the Lotus. That was either a thank you or a get out of the way. It was probably a thank you. So I still think I'm being stalked by a BRM back there. There he is. He is closer. He is closer. He is closer. So my last lap was a 1:31. Oh, that's a better camera. So 1:31. Oh, there we go. They did a 1:30. So they must have got through the that accident a bit better. But they did have a lot more pace, it seems. Lap 11 of 27. I'm being stalked by a BRM. Oh, whoa! Here we go again. Who's this time? I think that's Simon Clements. That's 10th place. Let's have a look at what this looked like from cockpit. No, that's the wrong button. Doing this with keys rather than the mouse. Let's see what it looked like full speed. Right, so you see someone coming back on track. Now, what they would have been able to see is not an awful lot, because they would have only just seen me in their mirror just now. Probably at about this point. So they're doing a big no-no as well. They're coming back on the track. Where? Right on the apex of a corner. So, big no-no. But thankfully, the course is big enough. I wonder whether I got through that better than my compatriot. You still hear that BRM behind me? So 1:29.1. They did a 1:30.5, so no, they didn't get through it better. So we're trading best lap times here. And this is Andy Straw. Oh. In 10th place that we're coming up to. See the 10th or 9th. So he must be one of the ones that had an accident at the start, because he's in a Lotus. He should be faster than this. So with all this traffic and all this accident avoidance, we're 2 seconds off the pace. We should be down into 1:27s, but we're lapping in 1:29s. What am I putting my fist up for? Maybe I was role playing a bit. I don't know. just trying to look. BRM is definitely closer now. We're back down to the high 128s. But I still reckon Joe Murphy and the BRM behind me has a bit more pace. He's getting closer, so depending on how we get through this this lapped car, he was very kind then. And again, I don't know if I can see that Lotus having a bit of a moment there. But I didn't see the BRM get through. No, he's still there. I think he must have taken avoiding action, because that Lotus got a bit offline and got a bit squirrely. So that BRM will not go away. I can still see him just about appearing in my mirrors. So the lap cars are being kind to me at the moment. Although that lap time was 1:29. So consistency is not my thing in my second race. I was actually tempted to go back to the default track and car just to see what it would have been like. So we're on lap 14 of 27. Coming up to start our 15th lap. Seeing that BRM behind me. There's a little speck. There he is. I mean, that car looks like an absolute handful. Absolute handful. Oh. It's annoying they had like a pit lane cam. Whoa! Joe is hanging that back end out. I don't know if that's lag or because the positioning of the car is sometimes horizontal to the track. I don't know whether there's a way to mod out the static bit when you change cameras. Which was obviously a stylistic choice. He's still... Oh, he must have had an accident. He's dropped back. I've got a few seconds in hand now. I nearly matched my best lap time there. On 27.5. 16th lap. So in the year 2000, I would have been 21. Fresh-faced, 21 years old. But after this race, because I've got my best lap times, I think. Oh, locking up the tyre there. Oopsie. I think I've got my best lap time, so maybe I'll see if I can get the cars and tracks back to what they were when I would have been racing. Because I think at that point there wasn't any like add-ons or graphical updates or anything like that. We'll just put it back to the standard, and then we'll see what it looks like. And you'll see a drastic difference. And I'm thinking as well, I would have been running a... What computer would I have been running? I can't remember whether I probably wasn't running a Pentium, because they were too expensive at college. So I was probably running an Athlon chip. An AMD Athlon chip, I think. I really can't remember. That must be a lapped car ahead. Who's that? That's a BRM of 9th place. Of Christian Danes. I mean, this game basically provided the base for iRacing. So the underlying technology of this game going forwards into NASCAR NASCAR 4, NASCAR 2002, NASCAR 2003, and then iRacing. So when people say that obviously new racing games that come out on a new engine, they've got a lot to live up to, because the underlying engine and code that Papyrus used for this game and subsequent games, that was a bit close. It was a good base. I think that the replay system is one of the best in sim racing. So look at this. Talk about shit your pants. Now, in the day and age of 56k modems as well, it would have been very likely that getting this close to a car would put you into an orbit, but can you tell what they did wrong? Can you tell what they did wrong? Although saying that, they've not really got too much of a choice, have they? They could have probably they probably could have I mean, that Armco probably still was there. It was probably actually a brick wall in the original graphic. But then again, it might still be an Armco, don't know. Let's see what actually happened to them. So this is a Jacob Schmidt, who seems to be causing a lot of bloody problems. So this is what I mean about if you get it a little bit wrong. Oh, you're going on a journey. So what they should have done is not come straight down the circuit. They should have slowed it down on the banking and then come off there slowly. Although, looking over at the left there, I don't know whether that actually came down and then came back up again in a drivable way. But at this point, I would have taken my car along this grass verge, and if you were able to go between that Armco and the fence, I would have done that and then headed onto the short straight. But what they decided to do was come back onto the racing line at one of the fastest corners of the track. But they did stay to the right, so all credit to them. But bloody hell. That was a bit too close. Nearly just took out the leader. Alright, so at this point, where's... Was that someone else that's had a bit of a moment? Where's that other car? I saw it a minute ago. Was I imagining things? I definitely saw another car. Confusing. Must have lagged in and out. Right, so where? That's 9th ahead of me. That's Jacob having a... So 2nd is miles away. So I'm wondering whether Joe Murphy actually disconnected in this one. So let's see how we get past this. So are we lapping 9th again? Oh, we haven't even lapped 9th yet. Let's see. So again, there's probably like 15, 16 runners. But this is completely new to me. Lapping cars? No, I heard of it, that. Who would have thought I'd be lapping cars? So that's one of the Brabhams ahead. So I might be helpful because I might be able to pass them on the straight. Lap 20 of 27? Not quite. Not quite. Quite close enough. It wasn't that bad. Let me by at the most easiest point. So we're back in the 128 low. Not a person to be found behind me. So I'm just coming over the line. That's 9th. That's 12th. That's 6th. So Joe Murphy. No, that's Michael Bell. They're not even close enough to be in my replay, because obviously there was a certain number of cars back and forwards in a replay for optimization purposes. So where 2nd place was, I don't know. In some of the replays I've got the server versions of them, which would see everybody. And I don't think I've actually got like the server versions of all of them. I'm probably gonna have to maybe ask Ben to see if I can get the server versions, because I think he's got them backed up. I mean, it doesn't. It shows everybody, and the cars do kind of look a bit. You know, they don't flow. So maybe it wouldn't be a good watch. Oh dear. I think that scared me there. Can you tell? That scared me. It scared me off the circuit on the other side of the circuit. And I mean, that would have been what I would see as well. This is a direct representation of what I would see. So I would have seen that car just appear. Bing! Yeah, so that probably... a little bit unnerving, I think is the word. Because I can't imagine what I'm feeling at this point, being in the lead and... one accident away from dropping it. So that 22 of 27. So there's still a Brabham behind me. I think that Brabham is not for position. That's 8th place behind me. I mean, there's still... whilst I've been looking at some of the mods for R Factor and Automobilista, I did look back at what's archived for Grand Prix Legends, and it's still going strong. The league that I'm viewing a race from is UKGPL, and as far as I know, they're still going. I think they may be petering out, maybe, because they did have like 5 divisions, and now they're only like 1. Season, what was it, 35 or something? So they've kept going. Obviously, some faces have come and gone. I remember Ben Summers. He was actually moderating this particular division back in the year 2000. That's where I know him from. And I remember he joined a Grand Prix Legends league a little while back. And there was a couple of drivers there that I recognised the names of, so they'd stuck around. I did actually manage to meet a couple of the guys I raced with in this division as well. We got on quite well. Back in the days of IRC and ICQ and stuff. Yahoo Messenger. But we got to know each other quite well. With the camaraderie between the drivers was quite cool. We generally would hang out quite a lot, because obviously being back then, this was my jam, you know. Online stuff, online gaming was my jam. And I mean, weirdly enough, when I met the people that I was racing against, I was the youngest there by quite a way. And I mean, even back then, back in the year 2000, there was people in their 40s that I was racing with. Now I'm in my 40s. So it's madness. mean, it's kind of cool that there are still people around. That I raced with back then. I'll get it, after this race is finished. I'll check the what the latest results archived are. See if we can find some familiar names. Oh, it's a big black blotch there. Not sure what that was about. Remember these cars. I suppose tyre temperature was simulated in some form-ish. Tyre wear wasn't really a thing. I mean, setup changes would be quite apparent. I had no idea what I was doing back then with setup. But Ferrari always seemed to be my chosen car, though. I think it was mainly because of the sound. Because I wasn't particularly a Ferrari fan or anything back in the year 2000. Lap 25 of 27. And where is everybody? So that's Michael Bell behind. Is that in front or behind? That's in front, I think. That's 7th place. And this is Joe Murphy's back in 2nd place. So he must have had an absolute mare. So I'm coming over the line now. And Joe Murphy's just coming through the penultimate turn there. So he must have had an absolute shocker. He must have got caught up in something. So maybe we'll see in the results what happened. So maybe I was lucky. Maybe I was very lucky to. I mean, you can kind of guess that I'm probably heading towards a win here. Lap 26 of 27. I don't think I'm actually coming up on anybody. I mean, I would probably be able to tell by this point that the 2nd place was miles away. Still in the 128s. But again, I can't remember whether you would have seen lap time whilst you were driving. But once you've got a good rhythm. That was a nasty gear change. And I mean, this game taught me how to blip on downshift. So lifting on upshift, I didn't think I knew was a thing. And blipping on downshift was definitely not a thing. And I don't think I'm doing it very well. But, oh, steady. It's the last lap. Because you can just hear the engine notes suddenly go weirr, and you're just like, oh. Because engine life was a thing. You could blow your engine. And flames coming out the back. Nasty gear change again. Yeah! Yeah, baby! That's a win! So the guy I'm following now, back to the pits, has not actually finished the race yet. I don't think. So 6th place is still racing. So I'm heading back to the pits whilst that guy in front is still trying to finish 6th place. So I don't know whether I know this. I know that I've won because I put my hand up. So I don't... I wonder why I'm racing back to the pits at such a rate. Can hear me revving the engine there. You can tell I'm a bit pleased. I mean, maybe I went over the line just one more time just to make sure. Rocking though. Rocking. My donuts are not that good though. Maybe I need to practice my donuts. There we go, on a straight bit of track. There we go. Still not very good. Haven't quite got it. I tried. I tried. Right. I'm going to take a little bit of a break and then we'll be back. I'll see if I can find the fastest lap from that race, and we'll go back to default settings so you can see what it looked like without all the add-ons. So I'll be right back. I didn't see that before. Seagull landed on one of the mines. So basically, you drive this little boat around. Looks like they're having as much trouble as I am. Keeping the damn thing in a straight line. That's a retirement, I think. You know, you could be blisteringly fast at one and then they can just run away at another, so... Oh, for fuck's sake! Why can't I get away with anything? I cannot get away with anything.
We think about 31 laps of fuel left.
good fortune has come my way.
We think stuck. Has been dimmed. Okay, Neil. Start. Green flag, sector 2.
It's what? It's what? Jeez!
95%.
Ah!
Shields at 50%. Shields
Get off!
50%.
Get off! Get off! I didn't do things in the right order.
I'm here. The fabrication process and data transfer were both successful.
Oh, thank God for that.
So this is the right platform.
Go on. Go on.
This train seems really quiet. No.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
I wonder.
No mistakes. Acknowledged. Pit stop requested. We're running on fumes, mate. In this lap. We expect there'll be no traffic on exit. When we exit the pits, we should be in position for... Incident sector 3. Sector 3 is yellow. Green flag sector 1. The car ahead's pitting. Pit crew is ready.
Did you see that?
On your left. Still there. Clear.
Ow. I crashed so hard into the pit wall, I crashed the game. I literally crashed the game. Oh, that's funny. That's better. This is a bad idea. Oh. Ah! No! Told you I'm jinxed.
Floor it. Shepherd is now leading. Okay, I can give them calls. There's a car right. Still there. Right side clear. Looks like keep you in. It's very wide. We're on the right. We're on the left. Okay, Neil. You picked up some minor aero damage.
through there. That looks like a car failure to me.
Sector 1 is clear.
Someone clip that. Oh, I had to fall down the gap, didn't I? Right. I think I've taken the necessary files out. Hopefully I haven't broken anything. And I found the fastest lap from that race. Another Dr. Pepper. Iron Brew. Why did I get getting those mixed up? Right. Let's what do we want? That. Okay, so it doesn't say I've got the track. I think I've broken it. I've got a conflict. Right, let's move these out. Because I just attempted to right. Let's try that again. No. I need to find let's see if I can find I've got the original somewhere. I think I've got it on the other machine. For once my network is working. Don't know what I changed. The cars are correct. Oh, I didn't have all the file. Right. Third time lucky. You usually like delete all of the loose files and then well, Zandvoort's back, so we did something right. Right, so let's check my fastest lap time. Right, so you see the difference. So this is what it looked like when I drove. Look how low res that is. Look how low res that is. Blurry cockpit. And I mean this is the original track. This is what the track looked like. Look at it. it's so angular and I mean, I was even back in the 2000s. This was still impressive because of the suspension movement. I did my fastest lap by locking up my tyres. So this was lap 4 of the race. I mean, look at that. Look how low poly that is. So low poly. Obviously, I didn't take out the other cars. But you can see where it came from. So obviously the original helmets, it gave me a white one, but once I take all the upgrades off, it gives me a green one. So at this point, I think I was still being shadowed by Derek Jones. You can see how angular the thing is. Flat wheels. I mean, let's have a look at what the track looked like. So everything is a big block. I mean, this was state of the art in the year 2000. Anti-aliasing, what's that? I mean, maybe it didn't look this bad, as in blurry texture-wise, because I'm running in Direct 3D. And 3DFX, which would have been the card that I was using back then. A 16 megabyte card, I think it was. 16 megabytes. So you see how sparse the trackside objects are? So yeah, how about that? That's really going back in time. So I think even all of the menus and things, because you can get those all changed. This is how the original looked. And I'm kind of wishing that I probably would have had like a player file which had all of my lap times and stuff in, but it doesn't really make too much difference. But how cool is that? So we said we were going to see if we could find if the league was still running. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, and we were also going to check the results to whether there was some reports and stuff. Right, so I won. So Joe Murphy did get second. Look at the qualifying gap as well. What's that? 3/100ths of a second. So close. So it was actually separated by what? 0.04 miles per hour. Yikes. So so Michael Bell got do not stay. He got DQ'd, but he still finished in 7th. Odd. We have 3 disconnections. Only 1 moderator report. You can see that down there. Clements for rear-endering Michael Bell and also setting off a chain reaction of a 9-car pile-up. That's what we saw at the start. Also a warning to S. Clements for not letting leaders through whilst being lapped. Multiple incidents, 10 championship points deducted. So that was what Ben would have said back then, Ben Summers. You all know Ben Summers. So isn't that cool? So I think it's the first appearance of a friend of mine called Phil Barbier. We became quite good friends over subsequent years. We still know each other. We met a couple of times as well, so that's kind of cool. So how about that? And I was going to check whether I could actually find the updated. So season 45. Oh, Ben Summers. Were your ears burning? We've just been looking at a couple of Grand Prix Legends replays. My first 2 races. We just did a review of the first 2 races. Maybe I'll cut you the VOD so you can see how much your ears are burning. Season 3. It's Season 3. So we just looked at Kyle Army, my first ever race. I missed out Monaco, which was the second race in the season. We just finished watching Zandvoort, my second race and my first win. So I was just looking at the archived results. Apparently, season 45 in UKGPL, they are still going. They are, what are they running? 1967 sports cars, 1965 F1 for amateurs, 1965 F1 for professionals, 1955 GP, 1967 for privateers, 1967 for works cars. So I was in division. I was one of your drivers, Ben. You were moderating me. You didn't catch some of my instants, though, did you? I mean, you probably would have given me a slap on the wrist for a couple of the. I mean, I didn't get involved in any incidents which were my fault in the first 2 races, but I noticed in. Obviously we were talking about the year 2000, so way back then, the lack of information we would have had on our screen to tell what was going on in the race, all we had was our pit board, and I noticed that I was around kind of 11th, 10th place at Kyle Army for a lot of that, and I noticed the car was coming up behind me, and I wasn't sure now whether I knew that car was for position or not, because what I was doing on track, so I was heading to the inside of all of the turns as if I was blocking, defending. I don't know whether I was defending or I was going to the inside of the turns so that they could sweep around the outside, but I held someone up for 3-4 laps, blatant blue flags waving all of the time. So I don't know what I was thinking, and unfortunately it actually led to we came up to a car that it was either recovering from an accident on the last turn and it was kind of wavering around a bit. He was either recovering from an accident and trying to get to the pits, but in his recovery, he must have bumped off the last apex and it left me nowhere to go at the last turn, and I just ploughed straight into him and then went off the banking and landed on my head. So that's what it led to. But that obviously meant that the lapping car behind me, because it was second place that was trying to get trying to get past, and he couldn't. So, so yeah, so they're still running apparently. I was going to check some of the names to see if I could recognise if there was anybody that I know. Right, so I can see. I can show you these again. I'm not doxing anyone because this is public information. This information is out in the public. So let's go full screen. Right, so this is season 45. So let's see. I recognise Phil Thornton because I think he was always in a series above me or a league above me. I don't know whether Will Bennett is the Will Bennett that I know. It would be funny if it is. So what's that? That's sports cars. So 1965 amateurs. So I know Paul V. I was racing against Paul V in the race we just watched. And he's still racing 24 years later. I recognise what's his first name? Mr. Burton. What's his first name, Ben? It's not Phil, is it? No, what's his first name? I can't remember his first name. No, I can't remember. It's not. Is it Phil Burton? It's not Phil Burton. Something. Right, who else we got? There's a lot of duplicate names in there. And I'm guessing they stopped using like real names and shit. I mean, back then, in like the year 2000, didn't care about putting our real names on the internet. Who cares? Clive Loynes, I remember. He was always in a couple of series above, divisions above me. But it looks like, I mean, I can recognise some of the team names. Soggy Bottom Racers. They've been around for ages. So that's the 1955 GP. 1967 Privateers. I don't recognise any of these people. The 1967 Works Drivers. I remember Hristo Ishov. And I think Sid Drake as well, I remember. Maybe, unless I'm mixing him up with someone else. But people, you know, have stuck around like 24 years later and they're still racing the same sim. I mean, if we look at Cookie, it should tell us when he's raced. So he's raced from season 20 onwards. So maybe it's not the Cookie you're thinking of. Well, maybe it is. Let's have a look at Will Bennett. I don't think that's the Will Bennett I'm thinking of. Because I used to race with these. I mean, this. I don't know. You can't see the logo up there, but simracing.org.uk, run by Dave. Oh bollocks! I've just forgotten his name. Dave Geimer. There we used to race with them with UKGTL, UKGTR. So I've probably got some of my records on UKGTL. I'm not sure what season I would have been in. So what car would I have been in? Look how many people were running GTL back then. I have no idea. Season... I really don't know what I would have been running. Or when I started joining the GTL series. If in fact I even did. Although if I look back at my... What was it? Season 3. If I look back at Division 5, I should be able to pick up my... So that's only GPL stuff. No, that's not quite what I wanted. Well, that's not what I wanted either. I'm guessing I went under a different name when I raced with UK GTR and GTL. But I don't really know how to search for my name. It's UK GTR. Let's see. This is our first season with GTR2. I never played GTR2. Sprint season 1. There I am. There I am. I took part in 2 races. So when was this? When was this? It doesn't have the date on it. Let's have a look. I got 5 points. No, I took part in 1 race. Oschersleben. Yeah, took part in... I think I tried GTR, but I was already having problems with my pedals. What was in fact the Microsoft force feedback pedals. They were on their way out, so they would constantly be flicking around, which is not what you want. You don't want a throttle that just keeps dabbing full throttle, do you? So I did 1 race and I was just like, no, this is not for me. But there's some familiar names in there. Like Mike Wrightson, Simon Geimer. What was I racing back then? I was in a 996 GT2. Okay. I kind of wish I had all the replays from that as well, but so I did take part in some. So I don't know what all of this is. So I took part in GTR Sprint Season 1 NGT and Sprint Season 1 GT. So what did I do in GT? I took part in 4 races in GT. So I did Magny Core. I did Spa, Anderstorp, and Oschersleben. No penalty points. Also did UKGTL. Ladder. This must have been when we were just starting. So I did 1 race in the Austin Healey in GTL. And in the other one, I didn't do any. I mustn't have liked it then. I mustn't have liked it. I thought I did more GTO on GTR, but maybe not. I mean, there's some races here. These must be like other. So, look, 2005. So, US 1G. So, UK GTR Season 1. I'm at the back. Unknown. What happened to me? I don't appear in the incidents, so I don't know what happened there. We've got a pole. I won something, look, in 2006. What were we racing here? GTL. Well, it says I won something. It says first. That's odd. Or maybe I'm misreading that. Did I get pole? No, I didn't get pole either. It says I started 18th and ended 14th. I don't know what the mark by my name is. I'm in a GT40. But I appear in the moderator's report. Why do I appear in the moderator's report? Pero catches Woody at Piratella, about to put a lap on him. On the way out, Woody holds the right-hand line, but as Pero moves out, Woody moves over to take the normal line for the kink. Pero then gets a run on him out of Varianta Bassa and Woody holds to the left-hand side. Then again, as they get to the kink, Woody moves over to the right, following the normal line, and Pero has to switch back to the inside to make a pass on the brakes. Whilst there's no suggestion that Woody blocked Pero intentionally, he had two opportunities out of Piratella and then out of Variante Bassa to short shift and make the pass easier and safer. He should also not have cut across the track, even if this is the normal line, with a lapping car directly behind him. So I got a warning for holding up a lapping car. So if that person had actually reported that, I would have got a penalty. Oh, another one. LEH is coming up to lap Woody in Piratella. As with Pero, Woody, instead of allowing past on the way out of the corner, inadvertently blocks by moving left to take the kink at racing speed, when he could have backed off slightly and safely allowed LEH past. LEH then gets a run on him out of Variante Bassa and moves right to go past. Woody moves right in the kink, almost causing a collision, and forcing LEH to make a contested pass on the brakes in Tamburello. Again, I must have been taking weird and wonderful lines in Imola, because I'm getting lots of warnings for holding up lapping cars. Ribeiro is about to lap Woody as they come out of Acqua Minerale. Woody drifts lazily across the track on the way out of Variante Alta, making it hard for Ribeiro to pick which side to try and pass. In the end, he has a half-hearted stab up the inside into the chicane, and there is some light contact. Woody emerges ahead, and Ribeiro finally passes him on the brakes into Piratella, complete with lots of angry light flashing. This one is 50-50. Woody, you had no need to fight with these lapping cars as if you were racing in position, and Ribeiro, you could have been more patient and not tried to force your way past into the chicane. So, I wasn't very good at GTR, it seems. Wasn't very good at all. So I got a DNF here. Looks like I didn't even start that one. DNF at Istanbul. No, did not start that one. Maybe I was having connection problems at some point. I mean, I always like to see if I've appeared in the moderator's report. Let's have a look. Right, not in that one. Magnicore. No. Enna. What's that? 24 plus 3. Plus 3? Did I get a penalty? I remember that race. Woody totally fudges up his braking into the first tyre chicane, collecting first Tasman and then CB95 AMC. Woody's car then bounces back into the path of Smoothie. I'm sure it wasn't a deliberate passing attempt, although Woody never submitted an incident report, but it's the first firing lap and far more caution is called for. CB95 AMC then tried reversing out of the sand trap, understandable but unwise, without waiting for the fuel to pass. As he then hits the recovering Woody, who subsequently has a very hard time extracting himself from behind the huge curves. So I got a penalty for I got docked 3 places for that. I remember that vividly. There's a reason. There is a good reason, and I'm not going to say it. Although looking at this, it might be easier to tell whether I took part. I don't think I took part in these ones. Unknown. So I retired from that one too. Oh no, these are the ones that I actually took part in. So I will be in the results. Spa. Started 18th, finished 16th. Not in the incident reports. So I basically did 2 classes. Started 21st, ended 10th. I wish I'd still had the bloody replays of these. I think I tried to look up whether they saved the server replays of these, but I don't think they did. But I'm not in the moderators report. So I was doing quite well at some point. Started 20th, ended up 14th. Go me. Go me. Although I am the first of the finishers. I'm 3 laps down. So maybe it's not that great. I'm in a 996 now. Started 15th, ended up 10th. 1 lap down. No server report. I was hoping that because you've got the server replays of the GPL stuff, I was hoping to maybe get the server replays of some of the stuff that I haven't. I've got every single replay I think that I raced, but it would be sometimes nice to see the whole field. But started 14th, ended up 11th. I always go forward. I've never been a good qualifier, it seems. Never. It always seems I do better in races, which is the most important part, so. So this was a DNF. Don't know why. DNF there. 23rd. I must have been having a right old mare. 3 laps down. I don't think I was having a nice time. That was GTL, so what was I racing in? Cobra. Oof. I don't think I could handle the Cobra very well then. And we're a Monza Junior in an Alpha GTA. I mean, I must have kept out of trouble because I'm not appearing in the... I still don't know what this is about. Why I'm first in that. Because I'm not. Maybe I'm the only one in my class. Oh, that's what it is. I'm the only one in the GTC 65 class. That's why I'm first. I'm first in class. Yes, Baz West is Barry West. That's why I recognised his name when you started racing the 79 series. He's exactly the person from UKGPL. Because yeah, it even says on his name, like, driving as Baz West. He's been around for ages. I remember him having a big handlebar moustache. I got DQ'd. Why did I get DQ'd at Hockenheim? Why did I get DQ'd? I mean, I don't know what reason you'd get DQ'd in GTL. Because track limits didn't exist. So what would you get DQ'd for? Started 21st, ended up 17th. I used to love GTL. Just the whole vibe of it. Started 6th, ended up 11th. Not good. Not good. And then I basically all of my results had ended up with a DNF in my last ever race for this league. Or did not start. So basically gave up in 2006. I think I'd had enough by that point. I don't know what I was doing in 2006. So in 2006 I would have been 27. So at 27, that was my sabbatical. So in 2006, 2007, I stopped sim racing altogether. Because in 2007, I decided to do something completely different. And you can actually see it. Because I've documented it all. I actually put down what my sim racing history is about. So, so I detail all the stuff about where I was competing in UKGPL, blah blah blah. And this time, dabble with NASCAR racing, NASCAR 3, NASCAR 4, 2002. Had back surgery in 2004. Leagues and Mods 2005. So remember, 2005 was when R Factor came out. So that's when GTL came out around 2005, 2006-ish. And we had GTR, we had Race 07, what have you. And at that point, I was doing less racing and more broadcasting. So I was doing more creating content rather than actually racing. So maybe that's why there's a big space in my history. And then 2000 that should actually be 2008. 2007. Because in 2007 I started riding speedway bikes. Because I was stupid. But there was a part of me that wanted to do something that I'd never done before as a challenge, and to do it before I could not do it anymore. And I'm kind of glad I did it, because I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get on a bike again. So it goes all the way to 2002 when I talk about my 1979 season and stuff. I probably should update that for 23 and 24. To say what I've been doing over the last 2 years or so. But yeah, decided to write it all down to, I don't know if anyone's interested. There for prosperity. Cool, huh? Cool. It's good to look back at stuff. I'm kind of glad that they've kept all of this archived, so I can look back and see what I was up to. Kind of cool. And I mean, all of the GTR and the GTL stuff was done over 2 years. And that wasn't the only sim racing I did, because obviously when R Factor started, I was racing with a league called WR Racing. which was a league that was started by a friend or a few friends that I had raced GPL with, called Glenn Reed and it's going to end with W, Mike something. I can't remember now. Is that it, Ben? Is that your entire history? Oh, so yeah. So I've gone through this first couple of races. I might actually do more of these. Kind of like a retrospective, going back. Just gonna move my files back so I don't forget. But yeah, because it's been fun. Maybe I'll cut up the VOD for you, Ben, so you can see what the what it was like to look back at some of these races. I'm hoping I've got the volume correct. It didn't look too bad, but I suppose only checking the VOD will show. Because I've got all of my races from the UKGPL, so let's have a look at the replay folder. I mean, I archived everything. I've probably, I mean, I think I tried to look for my GTR replays, my GTL replays on so many discs, because obviously I backed things up on CDs and stuff way back. I don't think I could find them. I've got lots of iRacing replays, but of course you need iRacing to view them, and I'm not paying to view my replays. So I've got everything from season 3 up to season 12. I've also got some of the stuff that we got, like offshoot leagues that we did. One was kind of like a Grand Prix Legends Le Mans series, which had the F1, F2, and F3 cars all racing on the track at the same time. There was also a league called Proles, Proles. I don't know what that stood for. But I've got a few replays from that, and I'm not sure why. That was back in 2001 to 2002, so I was multitasking with all my replays, my league racing and stuff. So I could send them to you. I'd imagine they'd still compatible, because they've kept their replay format and probably the same cars and stuff. Maybe I'll have a look at some of my archives when I've got a chance. But yeah, because there's probably like, because as I said, the replay system for iRacing or even starting a Grand Prix Legends was always very, very solid. So it meant you can cut up your replays and stuff. So I've always liked that. So anyway, I think I can smell my dinner burning. I think. Actually, it's probably already cooked, because I've been talking for more than half an hour. So yeah, so this has been a little bit different. I'm not going to be around tomorrow, I don't think. I've got to go to hospital tomorrow. I've got an ultrasound. Great. So I'm not allowed to drink or eat in the morning. So I'm going to be doing that. And then coming up at the weekend, we've got a busy weekend. So on the 26th, which is Saturday, I'll be doing the 1.5 hours of Monza. So that's going to start, it does say 6 o'clock on my calendar. I'm going to have to double check that. But that's hopefully not going to be a boring race, because there's only 2 braking zones. And then on the 27th, on Sunday, at apparently, I've got it noted down here at quarter to 7. I think the time changes on the 27th. So I'm going to have to double check that on the day. So our clocks go back on the 27th. But as always, I'll put a note on social media to say what I'm doing. But I'm going to be behind the microphone for that one. I'm going to be doing the Formula Renault. There we go. Got there eventually. So I'm going to be commentating on the Formula Renault. So hopefully more people turn up. I can't remember what track it is. Because it's Suzuka. So yeah. So thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll cut up the VOD so you can see my me talking through my races. They're not too long, about 35 minutes, 40 minutes or so. And I do some slow-mos and things of incidents that I see and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good fun. But I'll do a lot more of these going forward because it's good to go back and memories. So yeah, so thanks for watching and I'll see you on Saturday. See you later.